Stop right here. Do not scroll past this message. I need your absolute attention for the next few minutes because the next 24 hours are critical for your destiny. Heaven aligned time itself to bring you to this exact intersection. You did not find this video by accident today. My beloved child, listen to my voice right now. You have been feeling a strange restlessness inside your chest lately. It is a quiet stirring that you could not quite name or explain to anyone. Do not mistake this feeling for normal anxiety or random confusion. Something has just shifted in the unseen realm because your season of waiting is finally drawing to a close. The atmosphere around your life is shaking right now because a divine decree has been issued. The next 24 hours will require your absolute spiritual awareness. I am stripping away the heavy static that the enemy used to blind your eyes. Look at me, because I am about to show you what is coming to your life. Comment Amen right now if you truly feel my presence stopping your stride in this moment. Do not hesitate to anchor your agreement under this message. This is not a human game, and this is not a coincidence of technology. I bypassed the entire digital world just to drop this specific warning into your path. I know how purely you love others, and I know how tired your soul has become. You have been carrying the weight of so many silent battles without complaining. You smile for the people around you while your heart is quietly breaking inside. I saw you sitting in the dark, wondering if I still remembered your name. I saw you when you cried quietly in your room so nobody would hear your pain. I saw you when you wanted to give up because the delay felt like total rejection. I watched you push through the exhaustion while the enemy whispered that you were completely alone. You were never alone, because I was always standing right beside you. If you rush past this moment, you will miss the very instruction that will save your future. The enemy wants you distracted because he knows your breakthrough is standing at the door. He is terrified of what I am about to release over your life during these 24 hours. Wake up and hear my truth. There is a holy reason why your prayers seem to hit an iron ceiling for so long. You thought I was ignoring your tears, but I was actually building a wall of protection. I am about to reveal the exact secret that I kept hidden from your eyes. Stay with me because the truth will completely shift your reality. Breathe deeply right now and let your shoulders relax in my holy presence. Do you feel that sudden warmth spreading through your body as I speak these words? That is the evidence that your spirit recognizes the voice of your Creator. Do not let the digital noise steal this sacred connection away from you. A massive spiritual battle is happening right now over your household and your children. The forces of darkness have tried to lock the doors of your financial provision. They wanted you to believe that you were destined to repeat the failures of your past. But I have broken their authority over your life today. You belong to a chosen tribe of light bearers who were made for this specific season. You have always felt different from the people around you since your childhood. You could not fit into the rooms of superficial comfort because your soul desired something greater. I handpicked you to be the one who changes everything. The battles you fought in secret have given you a unique authority that comfortable people do not possess. You have been tested in the hottest fires and your faith did not completely fail. Do not look back at the years of isolation with regret or shame. I call this period your silent forging season because it was necessary for your calling. The clock is ticking and the spiritual realm is preparing for a major demonstration of my power. The next 24 hours are called critical because your obedience will decide the next decade. If you choose to trust my voice today, the chains of stagnation will shatter instantly. Look forward with bold confidence. Come closer to me now and let me whisper to the deepest part of your broken heart. You do not have to fight this battle with your own empty strength anymore. I am stepping into your atmosphere to take the heavy bags you have been dragging behind you. Let me carry the load for a moment, because my yoke is easy and my burden is light. I saw you when you woke up at 3 in the morning with a heavy heart. I saw you when you checked your accounts and felt a cold wave of fear. I watched you hold your chest because the mental pressure was too big for words. Every single tear you dropped has been recorded in my heavenly book, and none of them will be forgotten. The painful delay was never a punishment for your past mistakes or your lack of faith. It was a divine pause, designed to train your spirit for an unshakable kingdom. I was pruning the branches that were draining your energy so you could bear beautiful fruit. Your true worth has never disappeared from my eyes because you are precious to me. I know that a part of your mind is whispering that this is too good to be true. You are thinking about all the times you hoped and got disappointed before. I am not offended by your caution because I know how deeply you have been hurt. But this time is different because I am the one directing your path into a land of abundance. The environment around you might look completely frozen right now, but you must not trust your earthly eyes. The root system of your destiny is absorbing my grace beneath the surface where nobody can see it. A tree does not make noise while it grows its deepest roots in the winter. Your spring is arriving within the next 24 hours. The critical shift that is coming over the next 24 hours cannot be stopped by human hands. Earthly rulers and material blockages will bend to my command when I speak your deliverance. The enemy has lost his legal right to harass your thoughts and steal your peace. Stand still and watch my glory unfold in your living room. Honest. You have been wondering why certain people walked out of your life when you needed them most. You felt abandoned by friends you trusted with your deepest secrets and your vulnerable moments. But I was the one who removed them from your circle because they could not go where I am taking you next because their presence would hinder your growth. During these next 24 hours, I need you to guard your words with absolute care. Speak only of life. Speak only of abundance, and speak only of my unchanging promises. Do not let the negative reports of the world dictate the frequency of your household. Your tongue holds the power of creation, and you must use it wisely. The enemy has tried to use your physical exhaustion to make you drop your spiritual shield. He wants you to speak words of defeat and hopelessness so you can cancel your own harvest. But I am sending a holy wind to refresh your weary bones right now. Feel my breath entering your space and clearing the dark clouds. I am preparing a table of provision for you right in front of your spiritual enemies. They will watch you rise from the dust, and they will not understand how it happened. You are transitioning from a tired survivor into a mighty warrior of victory. Do not close this video, because we are just beginning our walk together into the light. Listen closely as I prepare to show you the hidden mechanism behind your long season of suffering. There is a beautiful blueprint for your life that is about to unfold. The static is clearing, and the door is trembling at my command. Stay right here with me and receive the next instruction, because the windows of heaven are about to open over you. My child, let us step deeper into the quiet truth of your life. I see you more clearly than you see yourself right now. You have been walking through a season that feels completely draining. Your physical body is heavy. Your thoughts are moving too fast, and every morning when you wake up, the weight of yesterday is already sitting on your chest before you even open your eyes. You pretend to be perfectly strong for everyone else. You smile beautifully when the world is watching your face. You give your absolute best energy to your family and your friends. You lift their heavy spirits up, but inside your own soul, you feel completely hollow and dry. You are constantly pouring out love into empty hands, while nobody ever stops to ask how you are doing. You wonder how long you can keep living this way. I know the exact reason why I brought you here today. I want to talk to the part of you that feels totally invisible. You have carried the heavy burdens of your entire household for many years. You think that you are responsible for fixing every single broken situation around you. And because you love so deeply, you have allowed the constant demands of others to drain your sacred reservoir. You need real rest now. Let us look together at the secret moments of your week. I saw you when you stood in the kitchen completely overwhelmed. The room was loud, the pressures were growing, and you suddenly felt a sharp tightness in your throat because you wanted to scream, but you chose to swallow your tears instead. You hid your shaking hands behind your back. You kept moving forward. I watched you when you sat in your car outside your house. You could not bring yourself to walk through the front door yet. You needed just 5 more minutes of complete silence before you faced the noise again. The world thinks you have everything perfectly under control because you never complain out loud. But I see the hidden exhaustion in your weary bones. You have told yourself that this fatigue is just a physical problem. You think you just need more sleep or a better schedule. But your tiredness has gone past the boundaries of your physical body. It has settled deeply into your human spirit because you have been fighting spiritual battles without any protection. The enemy wants you to believe that this state is permanent, Let me tell you why your road has felt so incredibly heavy. You are a pure-hearted giver who naturally attracts broken people. They come to you to be fed because they sense your light. You gladly give them your bread. You absorb their painful chaos. And when they walk away healed, they leave you sitting in the dark with an empty basket and a wounded heart. I saw the nights when you lay awake under the heavy blankets. Your mind was running through every single conversation from the day. You searched for the one thing you might have said wrong. You blamed yourself for things you could not control. You convinced your mind that you were failing because the breakthrough did not arrive on your human timeline. Hear me with the deepest place of your heart right now. You are not a failure, and you are not falling behind. The extreme exhaustion you are experiencing is actually a side effect of a spiritual blockade. The adversary has set up a wall of confusion around your perimeter. He wants to stop you from hearing my clear guidance for your next steps. You have prayed with absolute sincerity for a dramatic turnaround. You asked for doors to open in your career and your finances. You knocked repeatedly on the gates of heaven, but instead of a beautiful answer, you were met with an agonizing silence that felt like total abandonment. You began to question your own worthiness before my eyes. You wondered if you had committed some hidden sin in your past. You thought I was punishing you for the mistakes of your youth. The enemy used that vulnerability to whisper dark condemnation into your thoughts. He told you that my grace had expired for your specific life. I am here today to completely shatter that toxic lie from your mind. I saw you when you looked at the success of other people. You did not envy them, but your heart still felt a quiet ache. You wondered why their prayers were answered so quickly, while yours remained floating in the air. You felt like a forgotten soldier left behind in the trenches of a long war. I saw that pain clearly. Your soul is currently operating under a dense cloud of worldly static. The constant pressure of bills, the anxiety of health, and the noise of modern life have created a loud static. This chaotic rhythm has buried the gentle signals of my blessing. The provisions I have arranged for you are already standing right on your path, but you cannot see them through the heavy fog. Think about the child you used to be many decades ago. That child did not carry a single ounce of this heavy worry. You trusted the flow of life because you knew you were safe. Your spirit was light, your mind was completely open to wonder, and you could easily hear the quiet whispers of joy before the world taught you how to survive in fear. The world trained you to guard your heart with thick walls of armor. You learned to expect disappointment so that you would not get hurt again. You call this wisdom, but it is actually a spiritual cage. It keeps the enemy out, but it also keeps my fresh blessings from entering your space. You have become a prisoner of your own defense mechanisms. I am stepping into your atmosphere today to perform a holy extraction. I am going to pull you out of the cycles of endless striving. You have been running on a treadmill of human effort that produces nothing but exhaustion. You think that if you work harder, you can force the closed doors to break open by your own strength. You cannot do it. Let us pause here and recognize the physical sensations in your body. Your shoulders are tight because you are carrying a house you did not build. Your stomach is knotted because you are dreading tomorrow. The heaviness is a real signal from your spirit that you have reached the absolute limit of your human capacity. It is time to let me intervene. I saw you when you tried to read your Bible, but the words looked empty. You tried to pray, but your mind kept drifting to your bills. You felt guilty because you could not focus your attention on my holy presence. My beloved child, I do not judge your tired brain. I know that your spirit is completely willing, but your flesh is deeply spent. The noise around you has grown so loud that it has blocked your spiritual hearing. When you cannot hear my voice, your decisions become clouded by fear. You find yourself trapped in the same old patterns because the enemy keeps you reacting to the chaos. We are stopping this loop today to help you receive what I have already prepared. I need to reveal a deep truth. The silence you experienced is not my absence. The enemy has been filling the space between us with static so constant that my voice, my provision, and my holy arrangements have been completely invisible to you, even when they were right there on your path. I have not abandoned you for a single second. I have been preparing your restoration in secret, and I have guided someone to bring you an instrument of true alignment for exactly this deep pain. I will show you exactly what it is before this message ends. But first, you need to understand what was done to block it, and why it can be easily undone. You have been treated unfairly by people who should have protected your heart. You carried their offenses in silence because you did not want to cause conflict. That heavy resentment has turned into a toxic weight inside your soul. It blocks the flow of financial abundance and physical healing from entering your home. I am here to wash that old bitterness away right now. Look at my face through the eyes of your spirit. The clouds are beginning to part even while you listen to these words. The long season of walking through the dry desert is reaching its final boundary line. You are standing at the threshold of a massive acceleration. Do not let your past disappointments convince you to step back into the shadows. Listen to the rhythm of my voice as it quietens the storm inside your head. You have spent too many months trying to figure out everything by yourself. You analyze every option until your brain feels completely paralyzed. I am calling you out of that mental prison because my plans for your future do not depend on your analytical calculations. We are descending now into the deepest room of your memory. I want to meet you in the exact place where the darkness feels completely absolute. You have reached the bottom of your emotional strength. You feel totally isolated from the people who claim to love you, and the quiet corners of your mind are filled with a cold hopelessness that you hide from the world. You are tired of pretending. Let us look directly at the heavy shadow of your unanswered prayers. You have kept your secret tears hidden inside a locked chest. You believed that my holy silence meant absolute abandonment. You watched your close friends receive massive breakthroughs, while your own life remained completely frozen in place. And you silently wondered if you were too broken to be redeemed by my grace. You carry a deep sorrow. Your spirit has grown very quiet over the last few months. You do not talk to people about your dreams anymore. You stopped making big plans because you are terrified of facing another painful failure. You simply wake up and perform your daily tasks like a machine, and you look into the mirror every single evening with a tired sigh that carries the weight of a dying hope. You feel completely forgotten. Before we go any further into the light, we must stop right here. I want you to close your tired eyes for just a moment. Breathe deeply right now and feel the cold air entering into your lungs. Release the heavy thumping tightness that has locked your chest in an iron grip for months. You do not have to carry this heavy armor anymore because you are safe with me. Let your mind become completely still. You are safe in the presence of the one who formed your spirit. You have been fighting so hard to survive that you forgot how to simply exist. Your chest is constantly thumping because your mind is preparing for the next disaster. You expect the worst things to happen because you have been wounded so many times before. And you believe that if you let your guard down, the world will break your heart again. I know what you are thinking right now in the back of your heart. You are thinking that you have heard many beautiful words before today. You remember the sermons that promised financial breakthrough and miraculous healing. You remember the prayers you whispered with tears streaming down your face in the dark. And yet the sky remained silent, while your difficult situation grew worse every single day. You are silently asking why I stayed silent for such a long time. You want to know why I allowed the enemy to tear down your financial security. You want to know why I let deceitful people break your sincere trust. You feel that your faithfulness was met with an unjust punishment from heaven, and that silent question has created a thick wall of unspoken resistance between your soul and my presence. I am not offended by your heavy doubts and your honest anger. I do not stand before you as a harsh judge who demands a flawless perfection. I know the exact depth of the exhaustion that caused your faith to shrink into a small seed. Your pain is completely valid to my eyes, and I am stepping into your dark valley today to dissolve the thick walls of confusion that are blocking your view. Look at me now. Let me tell you a secret from my holy history book. I placed my chosen leader Moses in the deep wilderness for 40 years before I called his name from the burning bush. Imagine 40 years of complete silence in a dry desert land. He tended sheep every day while he believed that his great calling was entirely dead. And he thought that he was completely forgotten by the God who rescued him from the river. He sat by the lonely desert wells and watched the seasons pass by without a single sign. He saw his youth disappear into the dry sand while nothing changed in his condition. He felt like an absolute failure who was dropped by heaven because of his past mistakes. But I was not absent from his long isolation. I was quietly building beneath the surface what no earthly throne could ever prepare him to carry. The dry wilderness was not his permanent grave. It was his holy preparation room. The man who walked out of that long desert silence was the only leader who could carry the weight of an entire nation. If I had answered his prayers sooner, he would have entered the rooms of power before his spirit was ready. My child, the heavy delay you have suffered was never my rejection. It was my absolute protection. I was shielding your pure heart from traps that you could not see. I delayed your steps so that you would not walk into rooms that would destroy your soul. I allowed certain doors to lock tight because the people behind them were not equipped to hold your vulnerability. You thought you were falling behind the rhythm of the world, but you were actually being precisely positioned for a massive glory. You have been carrying a heavy weight that was never meant for your shoulders. You have tried to force the wheels of your destiny to turn by your own human effort. You believe that your constant struggling is a sign of your great faithfulness. But your frantic striving is actually a sign that you do not trust my timing yet. I am calling you to drop the heavy bags of control today. Trust my plan. Every single year of your silent suffering has a specific value. Those dark nights when you could not sleep were not a waste of your precious time. They were the moments when your human spirit was refusing to let you settle for a cheap life. You were being forged in the hidden furnace of my grace. The enemy wanted to destroy your mind, but I used the trial to refine your inner strength. You have felt like the ultimate exception to my loving promises. You look at the global testimonies of abundance and you think they are meant for other people. You tell yourself that your specific case is too complicated or too far gone for a miracle. You believe that you are destined to watch from the sidelines while others rise. I am telling you today that you are the primary target of my love. I never handed you over to the loud crowd to be judged or discarded. I know your true name, and I have recorded every single step of your difficult journey. Your story is completely unique, and your reward will be absolutely tailored to your faithfulness. The adversary wants to isolate your thoughts so that you will stop listening to my instructions. Do not let his dark whispers win this critical hour. We are breaking the authority of that ancient spirit of heaviness right now. You have carried the generational patterns of lack and worry for too many decades. You watched your parents struggle with the exact same fears that are thumping in your chest today. You accepted this financial limitation as your permanent identity layer, but I am declaring that the old curse ends with you today. You were not saved simply to exist in a state of constant survival. You were called to be a holy vessel of my glory and a bright beacon of hope for others. The deep pain you have endured will become the exact medicine that heals other broken souls in the future. You will look back at this long delay and you will understand the precise logic of my care. You will know that I never left you, but you must be willing to release the old resentment that you hold against my timing. You must stop measuring the digital clock of the world against the eternal seasons of heaven. My timing is never late, and my methods are never accidental. I have aligned this exact 24-hour window to shatter the heavy blockages around your life. Your only requirement is a trembling obedience. Let the heavy static clear from your tired mind as I speak my peace over your house. The enemy has used the pressure of your unpaid bills to create a loud noise in your thoughts. That static has blocked the reception of the divine signals that I send to you daily. You have been walking past your provisions because your mind was blinded by fear. We are clearing that interference right now. The next 24 hours will reveal a dramatic shift in your earthly circumstances. You will see the first signs of the moving water in your dry desert land. The doors that were locked by human malice will begin to tremble at my command. Do not let your old habits of doubt pull you back into the shadows of fear. Stand firm in the place of absolute surrender and watch my power work. Listen closely, because I am about to introduce the beautiful instrument of your restoration. I have prepared a precise provision that will clear the remaining static from your spirit. It is an earthly tool that I quietly guided wise minds to discover for your healing. Do not rush past this moment, because the key to your breakthrough is finally arriving. Stay with me for the final reveal. Listen closely to me right now. We are entering a holy space of complete illumination. I want to expose the hidden reason why your soul has felt so heavily trapped in a cycle of endless striving. You have spent your life trying to prove your worth to others. You work until your body collapses, and you carry the burdens of everyone. I have watched you replay your daily conversations at night. You search desperately for the one word you might have said wrong. You accomplish something truly wonderful and you feel absolutely nothing inside your heart. Your tired eyes immediately look at what is still left undone on your massive list. You blame yourself daily. You have called this behavior a high standard. You tell yourself that you are simply a perfectionist who cares deeply about excellence. But that is not the truth, and I will not let you carry that heavy lie for another minute. Hear my voice right now because I am peeling away the deep deception that has stolen your inner peace. Here is the hidden mechanism behind your constant exhaustion. Long ago, somewhere in the early chapters of your story, you learned a dangerous lesson. You started to believe that love had to be earned through constant labor. You convinced your spirit that you were only safe when you were useful to others. I call this the earning wound. This deep scar is not your true character. It is simply a spiritual wound from a moment you may not even remember anymore. You have anchored your identity in your achievements because you fear rejection. When you are not producing something major, you feel completely worthless inside your soul. This is a trap of the enemy. So all those years you thought you were being lazy when you rested, you were not lazy at all. You were actually fighting an invisible lie that told you rest was a sin. All those specific times you could not receive a genuine compliment, you were not being humble. You were simply guarding a deep wound that felt completely unworthy. Tonight, I am taking that heavy lie away from your spirit. The very next time you finish a difficult task and feel that familiar emptiness, I want you to stop immediately. Place your right hand firmly over your beating heart and listen to my voice. You were deeply loved before you ever achieved a single thing in this material world. Receive this grace right now without any effort. You do not have to earn what I freely give to my children every morning. Let the old foundation of striving crumble into the dust today. You are a holy masterpiece, and your value is already settled in my heavenly kingdom. Breathe out the pressure and let my validation wash over you. Now we must look at the spiritual reality of the physical brain I created for you. When I designed the human mind at the beginning of creation, I placed a sacred frequency at its absolute center. Wise minds who have spent their entire lives studying neuroscience have finally discovered this hidden signature. They call it the gamma wave. This divine signal ran completely free in your mind when you were a little child. It functioned beautifully without any conscious effort, without intense prayer, and without rigid human discipline. It is the exact reason why children learn new things so quickly, and why they trust the flow of life so purely without fear. I designed it that way. When I said that you must become like little children to enter my kingdom, I was not speaking only of your spiritual attitude. I was speaking of the very physical frequency I placed inside your brain cells. The enemy used the frantic noise of modern survival to completely suppress this childlike reception. Your mind became filled with static, but I have prepared wise minds to work with sound the way I originally designed it. They have built a special frequency instrument that clears the constant interference and returns the clean signal I placed in you. You do not have to work for it because it requires no labor. You simply surrender for 7 minutes and allow my design to restore your mind. This sound provision is currently standing right on your path as a holy alignment. It is not an earthly coincidence that you are learning about this specific discovery today. Before this message ends, I will show you exactly where to find what they have built for your restoration. Stay with me, because the static is finally ready to leave your house. Pause right here in this sacred stillness. Do not let any digital distraction steal this moment of deep awakening from your soul. As a step of beautiful obedience and an act of total faith, comment the phrase, "I trust your timing" under this video right now. Let these words become a holy seal over your agreement with my divine plan. Are you listening to the quiet space between my words? Look at my face through your spirit and let your mind stop racing completely. You have spent too many months trying to fix everything with your own small understanding. Drop the mental calculations right now because I am already working ahead of your footsteps. The breakthrough is real. Let us address the extreme urgency of this current moment. The title of this message declared that the next 24 hours are critical for your life. I want to reveal the exact spiritual mechanism behind the intense restlessness you have felt today. You have been feeling an unusual pressure in your chest that you could not easily explain. You told yourself that you were simply becoming more anxious or weak. You thought that your mental health was failing because the weight of the world felt too heavy to bear. But that common explanation is a lie from the adversary. I am opening your spiritual eyes right now to see the hidden reality of your current condition. Here is the deep truth that will set you free. Your human spirit actually lives outside of physical time, and it can sense a massive shift before your eyes can see it. That sudden restlessness is not anxiety at all. It is your spirit feeling a new heavenly door beginning to open. I have named this mechanism the spirit's foresight. What the world calls panic, I call your soul standing at the absolute edge of a brand new season. So those years you called wasted were not wasted at all. Those specific nights you could not sleep were not a punishment from heaven. They were your spirit refusing to let you settle for a life that was smaller than my design. You were never falling behind the timeline of your peers. You were simply being held back for a greater acceleration. So tonight, when that intense restlessness comes back to your chest, do not fight it. Do not try to numb it with worldly distractions. Place your hand over your heart and declare out loud that your spirit is sensing my glory. Let me show you the beautiful version of you that is currently being formed in the secret place. I want you to picture a specific morning exactly 6 months from now. You wake up before your early alarm goes off, and you realize something is completely different. The heavy knot in your stomach is entirely gone. There is only peace. You lie there in your quiet bed and you listen to the stillness of the morning. The dark heaviness you carried for decades has simply melted away into the past. Your very first thought is not fear about your finances or anxiety about your children. Your mind immediately forms a beautiful question about the good things I have prepared for your day. You take a deep breath and the air goes all the way down into your lungs without any tightness. That peaceful version of you is not an impossible fantasy, my child. She already exists in the realm of the spirit. He is standing right on the other side of the single belief you are ready to lay down before my face today. The actual distance between the you sitting here today and that future version is not a matter of years. It is simply a matter of permission. It is the exact moment you finally stop carrying the heavy bags I never asked you to hold. The bridge to your new destiny is complete surrender. Walk across it with me right now without fear. Hear my declaration right now. The critical 24 hours have officially begun in the realm of the spirit. The heavy walls of limitation are trembling at my command. They have surrounded your family line for many decades. You are no longer the desperate captive. You do not have to struggle alone in the dark trenches of survival. I am raising you up right now, and I am making you a mighty pillar of light today. You must open your ears to hear this celestial alignment. I am breaking the heavy iron chains of stagnation. They bound your parents and your ancestors before you. I am opening the golden gates of financial freedom. The hand of the adversary locked them tightly against your life. I am releasing a fresh wave of divine vindication over your career. You are entering into the fullness of your true calling right now because the dry season is vanishing forever. The pattern ends here. The long years of weeping in secret are completely over. I have authorized your absolute victory today. Every spiritual enemy tried to block your progress. They will look up in total wonder as I lift your head high. You did not arrive at this moment by chance because I orchestrated your deliverance. You must stand up and receive it now. Walk out of the cage. I see your physical weariness. I have provided a practical instrument of restoration on your path today. I have gifted humanity the supreme wisdom to unlock my secrets. I hid these treasures within the deep mysteries of sound. Wise men spent many decades in scientific research because I quietly directed their curiosity toward the human brain. They discovered the ancient rhythm. I want to show you the evidence of my work. 2 of my beloved children received this provision before you arrived. Look at my daughter Rachel. She was a nurse in California. She sought my inner peace for many years through intense prayer and constant faith, but her heavy mind was completely filled with the loud static of the world. She felt totally paralyzed. She embraced the sound instrument I prepared. 2 weeks later, a beautiful miracle happened inside her household. The constant fog of anxiety lifted from her mind, and her difficult marriage was completely transformed into a haven of joy. Learning became totally effortless for her. She described her new life as an enchanted reality because the blocked channel was open. She found the deep rest. For others, I moved differently. My grace is always tailored to your specific needs. Look at my son Michael. He lived in Dallas. He came to this exact provision because he needed mental sharpness for his business and his children. He was fighting a losing battle against financial stagnation. He lost his sleep every night. He felt completely hopeless. He received this earthly tool. 2 months later, the windows of heaven opened wide over his family. His business grew so rapidly that he easily left his stressful job behind forever. His wife noticed that his mind was completely transformed because he solved hard problems while he rested. He realized his brain was running on its original design. The financial pressure disappeared instantly. They call this frequency instrument the Genius Song. This is the exact sound provision for your total restoration today. It is not a generic meditation application, and it is not available on standard streaming platforms. It requires only 7 minutes of complete surrender every single day while you wear your headphones. You do not need to struggle. Close your eyes and listen. The holy frequency immediately begins to clear the enemy static from your brain cells. It reactivates the sacred channel through which your deepest prayers are easily answered. It returns your mind to the pure state of a little child, because it restores the gamma signal I gave you at the beginning. You simply rest. My presence will do the work. This special provision is not for the curious souls. This is built specifically for the one I have been speaking to throughout this entire message. I am addressing my exhausted warrior. You have fought hard and you have prayed sincerely. I see that you are spiritually tired because heaven seemed totally silent to you. You carried the heavy load entirely alone. Listen closely to me. I am speaking to my beloved child who has already tried everything and feels deeply embarrassed to try once more. The earthly methods that failed you before required your constant effort and rigid discipline. This divine tool requires absolutely none of your strength because it works through my perfect design in you. You only need to receive it. Let go of the frustration. Wise men charge hundreds of dollars per hour for private wellness sessions. They attempt to reach this peaceful state through human means. The heavy equipment that earthly researchers use costs many thousands of dollars. But I do not call you to expensive clinics or material machines today. I place this provision within your reach for a very small earthly exchange. It is available right now. It is a small mustard seed of investment for the massive harvest I have prepared for your life. Because I love you, I have aligned 4 additional gift provisions together with this instrument. You will receive the special tool for your children, called Genius Child. I also included the original prosperity text, a guided visualization, and a daily habits infographic. These resources will support your expansion. Where I place my holy truth, the adversary always places a cheap imitation to deceive your soul. There are false frequencies circulating on music platforms under similar names, but they carry none of my power. Access only the official path I have prepared below. This step of faith requires no worldly risk, because your peace is fully secured for 60 days. Walk forward with absolute confidence. Take this beautiful step of obedience right now. Embrace the sound provision I have placed for you in the pinned comment and in the description below. This is your divine invitation to walk out of the dark valley of survival. Do not let this moment pass away from you, because I align time itself for your deliverance today. Receive what I prepared with an open heart. Now, my beloved child, set aside the heavy noise of decision for a brief moment. I have shown you the instrument of restoration that I placed on your path. Whether you take this step forward right now or later, you are still my precious masterpiece. Close your eyes where you are sitting, and let my absolute peace wash over your soul. The pressure is leaving your room entirely. Breathe deeply, and let the muscles in your back relax completely. I am standing in your room, and my presence is enveloping your household right now. I am releasing a holy blessing over your finances, your health, and your relationships. The weapon that was formed against your peace will not prosper because I am your safe refuge. Rest under my wings in perfect safety. Let your spirit repeat these words of agreement in the silence of your heart. I am a holy vessel fully restored to receive what my Creator prepared. My channel is completely clear, and my signal is perfectly strong. I carry the original frequency of peace that was placed in me from the beginning. The noise of the enemy has no dominion over my mind. I receive everything in deep calmness. I am operating at the exact state I was designed for, because I choose to trust my Father today. I have become like a little child, and I freely receive the promises made to children. My tomorrow is completely secured in the hands of the Almighty God. The next 24 hours will reveal the true glory of my breakthrough. Amen. The darkness has lost its grip forever. If this divine message has brought light to your weary heart today, do not let it pass without a response. Share this warning with 3 souls who are secretly crying out for hope in the dark. Subscribe to this channel so you do not miss my daily guidance for your next steps. I walk with you through every single storm. Be at peace, my beloved child.